When we work with other partners, when we talk about capacity building, it's about looking at what we need. It's not about men. Most of our countries, our armies are capable of doing the necessary work. They have the necessary training. We have the men to be able to do the work. What we often lack is the ability to have equipment. For example, for countries like ours, landlocked with vast spaces, we need aerial vectors. We need military equipment. And we realize that in recent years, some Western powers have practically imposed festive embargoes on our countries, which cannot access these equipments to ensure our defense. That's why we had to turn to Turkey, China, and Russia, who allow us to acquire this equipment, not for free. We buy them even if there are often certain facilities. But that's it. So when we talk about capacity building, that's it. It's about training our men, being in a position to do the work, but it's also about helping us acquire the technologies and military means that allow us to ensure sustainability. Because the problem we had with the United Nations mission, the French forces and others, was that we were in scenarios of dependency that never enabled our countries to ensure their security. So we want to break free from this dependency so that we ourselves can ensure the security of our countries in the long term. What have the United Nations done over 10 years in our countries to fight against terrorism? Nothing. People fought, many died, but it was an operation that was unsuitable. So, the role of the United Nations is not to release reports counting the dead, but to save lives. Yet we had United Nations forces in our countries, in the villages, watching the terrorists pass by, go kill people, saying that their mandate is not to fight against terrorists. For 10 years, Mali did not control more than 40 to 50% of its territory. Since the departure of the UN mission, we have been able to reclaim these 40 to 50% of our territories. The state has deployed, the army has deployed, social services are returning. This does not mean that terrorism is over, but we are seeing a qualitative improvement today. The Malian army has capabilities like other armies from Burkina Faso and Niger to do this work. So I believe we really need to be able to reverse things instead of just giving these figures. But now, to also say that our leaders have come, we said we have set up a force. First, it is not a force of 5,000 men. We said we are establishing a unified force, our armies, 3 armies working together as one army. Beyond that, we will set up a unified force that will be an integrated army on the issue of development and how to promote economic integration between our countries, based first on the creation of a space for the free movement of people and goods, but also based on the fact that there are a number of integrated projects that have been identified today. There are railway projects from Bamako, Ouaga to Niamey. There are joint energy projects. There are projects to also transform our raw materials, whether in the energy sector, like in the agricultural sector. For example, there is a project to set up a purchasing center.
And still on the sidelines of this, on the 4th edition of the Antalya Forum, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Regional Cooperation, and Burkina Faso, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, engaged with several development partners. At the center of these discussions was the strengthening of cooperation in various fields. The report with Amandine Salsaga.
Bele Convention Center here in Antalya. The Burkinabe Minister of Foreign Affairs, Regional Cooperation, and Burkinabe Abroad first met with Serkan Kayala, President of the Turkish Cooperation Agency TICA, an organization already active in Burkina Faso in the field of development.
It was important for us to revisit some of the issues we have been discussing since last year. I therefore took the opportunity to emphasize the need for TICA to establish a liaison office in Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso to be closer, but also to strengthen its cooperation in humanitarian sectors, and especially in building resilience. We agreed that at least on 5 annual projects there are indeed significant issues affecting the health sectors, certainly affecting the education sectors, certainly affecting the agriculture sectors, and supporting the return of populations to their villages.
Minister Karamoko Jean-Marie Traoré then had a one-on-one meeting with the Minister of Transport of Kazakhstan.
It is a country that also experiences the effects of continentality, but